Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be building a miniature version of the Battle of Hoth out of Lego. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so there are three parts of this build. So first I'm going to build the frame around it, then I'm going to build the terrain, and then finally I will build all the vehicles that I'm going to put on the build. So the frame size I decided to go with was a 16 stud by 26 stud frame. But if you have all these flat pieces here, you're only going to get about a 14 by, I believe, 24 stud frame. So that's how big it's going to be. It's actually going to be a 14 stud by 24 stud build. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to take kind of these white 1 by whatever, how big that is. I'm going to place them all around here. And then I'm going to put red bricks on the inside, just so you don't see the red kind of peeking out through here. So I'm going to put these around it, put those there, and then I can build on top of that without using the bricks that I need, because I only have this many white bricks that are going to work for this build. Okay, so I just finished filling it in, and I think that's going to be good for what I need it to do. I just need not to be a weird hole in the middle, so these flat pieces will, or these plates, will kind of help fill in some space. So basically next what I want to do is build a kind of trench area where the rebel troopers would go in and kind of hide from blaster fire. So what I think I'm going to do is I have two options. So what I think I might do is either place two of these 1 by 1 by 2s apart from each other and do this, so kind of angle them towards each other with these cheese slopes like that. But then you don't really have a trench, so I'd like the idea that I am more leaning towards a little bit better, but basically doing something like this, where you have jumper plates and then a normal brick, and then it gives you kind of this little trench right here. So I think I'm gonna go with this idea. I like this idea more, to be honest. It looks more minifig scale, and you don't get this weird like perfectly up and down like arrow right there. So I think I'm gonna do this. The only problem is then I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm going to not have this weird gap here when I do the rest of the plating on top of the build. But anyway, I'm going to do this, I guess, right now, and I'll see how it looks. Okay, so I just finished building the trench, and I really like the look of it. The design that I chose to do does look really well. The hardest part, I think, was trying to blend this, since they're on jumper plates, they're like halfway. So I basically put flat bricks on jumper plates behind them, and then I was able to cover that over with normal bricks. So since there was no studs on this, it wouldn't stop it from going over. But I really like the way that looks right now. So what I'm gonna do next is, I think I'm gonna fill in this side where the resistance would be, where their camp would be, and then I'm gonna fill this side in with the AT-AT that I'm going to build later. All right, so let's go ahead and start building this side. Okay, so I just finished building the side where the Republic area would go. So I built the ion cannon and the power generator. Did this by just putting some rims down for like a Lego city car. And then I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. This is angling up a bit, so I gotta figure out why. I'm sure there's something in the back that's hitting. And then I'm going to put something else that'll hold this down in here, because right now, if you just see this, it doesn't look all that good. So I think I gotta build up a little bit just to disguise this little tip area right here. But yeah, no, so far this is looking really good. The mountains took me a little bit in the back because I had to make this look like it blended in. It's still not like 100% perfect, but I think it looks good. So I'm gonna keep that design, and then I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit. And then I'm gonna go on to building this side with the AT-AT, and then I will actually build the AT-AT itself and put it on here, and then it'll be all done. So I also need to get a couple more 1x2s for this side. So I'm gonna do that right now, and then I will be back, and I will build this, finish this right here, and then build this side. just finished building the AT-AT, and this is what I got. So I actually really like the design. For the guns on the side, I used these modified 1x1 studs with the poles on them, and then I used a cheese slope 1x1 to give the head kind of a angled look. And then for the bottom guns, I used a light gray roller skate piece, just because I think it looks way better than using something else. I think that's probably my best option. For the body, I did put some nice plates on it. I did these angle plates with the vent piece, and I also kind of angled the body so it would match these. And then if you remove one of these, you just see there is a Jarvis brick and then a 1x2 modified brick that has studs on both sides and on the top. And then I was also able to get the legs on by using these 1x1 modified bricks, so they had like the hole in them, and that allowed me to connect those to the bottom. So I'm actually really proud of this design. I think I did a good job, and I think it's going to look pretty good on the build. The next two things I built were these little turrets, again using the 1x1 modified brick with a little pole on the end. And then I put a 1x1 white stud on the bottom, and then a flat top 1x1 light gray stud as well. And so I have two of those. I'm going to put those along the build. They're going to be kind of shooting at the AT-AT. The last two builds that I did are a snow speeder and this kind of, I don't know what these are called. It's so basically another turret, but with a disc on it in front of the barrel. So I'm going to talk about the snow speeder for a second. So this was actually really easy. I basically just used a 1x2 modified brick with a clip on it, an orange cheese slope, and then two of these. I'm not really sure what those are called, but anyway, they are supposed to represent the wings. So I think this looks good. It's almost to minifigure scale of what it would be with the AT-AT, but it is still a little bit bigger. If it was slightly smaller, it would look pretty good. Obviously, a snow speeder is not the length of an AT-AT arm or foot, but I do think it's going to look good on the build. That's why I decided to add it in. Well, I just finished, and here's the final product. So this is the final version of the build. I have to say it looks really good, and I really like the way the AT-AT blends in with the rest of the build. Now this build isn't fully scaled together. Clearly the snow speeder is not to scale with the AT-AT, and this turret is not to scale with the ion cannon. However, it does look very good, and I do really like the way it turned out. I really also like how the way that I was able to blend the trench with the rest of the top. It looks pretty good. I do have a couple complaints about the trench. For example, right here, I wish that I could have not made these two slopes touching, but I do think it looks pretty good overall, and I really like the way that this build looks. Another thing that, I mean, it looks really good, I have to say, but I don't really like the way I did the power generator, just because you can see the bottom, and in the actual movie itself, you can't see the bottom. It's only like halfway out, so you just see the top rounded half. I think next time I do a build like this, I'm going to try to make this just the half rounded, but overall, I do think it looks really good. If you'd like to see more of this kind of content, please consider subscribing to me, and I'll see you in the next video.